Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? Of course, my name is Kent. The channel is EOS San Diego, and I make nightly videos about the EOS blockchain. But I want to take a look at these referendums that are being voted on right now because there's a couple I'm kind of interested in. The one that I'm most interested in is the one-for-one voting. Should voting be weighted, changed to one token, one vote? And of course, I think that's a very good idea. We were talking about that earlier in the week, or late last week. We were talking about it. I think Brendan Bloomer was the one that actually had kind of first mentioned this. One a vote, one token. I think it's a good idea. I think that's absolutely one that should be adopted. I think Block One will be actually making a recommendation on that too. The reason being that when you have one vote, or if you have one vote and you have 30 different choices from that one vote, you can vote 30 different places, 30 different block producers. Your vote is hard to track. So you have no idea who anybody's voting for. You could vote, you don't know. I mean, and there's a really good video. And I really want to show you this video because it's a great video. This is by Dutch EOS. And they really make a good video, and they make a good video about how few major accounts are controlling a lot of the voting for block producer. And please watch this video. They did a really good job with this video, Dutch EOS did. When you first look at it, it just looks like a spaghetti factory with lines going everywhere. And you kind of want to just not look at it because it looks too complicated. But he does a really nice job. Of course, I left him a nice comment here. He does a really nice job of going through how a few accounts are voting for all the different block producers. Really nice job of doing that. And he's, obviously has all the information here, and he's able to lay it out really, really well. I think he did a really good job. So whoever this is, thank you very much. I thought you did a really nice job. So I think the referendum for definitely one vote, one token should be adopted. There's still ways of getting around that. You could break your EOS up into several accounts, but it just makes it so you know who everybody's voting for. So if you got an account with a few million EOS, you know who they're voting for. It's not you got 30 different people and it's going 30 different directions and it's being controlled by a few accounts, and you literally got to unnavigate everything to kind of figure out what's going on. It'll put a lot more transparency into it, and it's not a fix for everything, but it's a good first step to go ahead and do one-for-one voting. I hope that gets adopted. I'm thinking that's a really good idea. There's some other stuff here. I didn't really see any others that jumped out at me that I was really all that excited about. Increase BPs to 100. Yeah, I think they should do that. Increase the number of active BPs to 200. Yes, but not too many people are voting on this. So yeah, there's a few others here. There's some of them that are kind of funny. Was 9/11 an inside job? So some of this is kind of tongue in cheek, but there's some good ideas here, and I think the community has to make a decision on what they adopt and what they don't adopt. But this is a good way, kind of finding out where everybody what the thinking is on some of these ideas. And I think the one-for-one voting is a really good idea. I definitely support that one 100%. Second thing I want to talk about a little bit tonight is I want to talk about the crypto market, of course. I want to talk about the future. I want to talk about where this is going. I want to talk about when it's going to break, when we're going to see prices back up to where they were before, when we're going to see $20,000 Bitcoin, when we're going to see $30 EOS. When are those days going to come back, or if they will ever come back? And I've been actually watching a lot of videos and taking a lot of information in, trying to figure out what is going to be that trigger point. What's going to make this market take off again? And of course, there's a lot of people, a lot of videos, a lot of content out there. And I take a lot of this information in, along with all the time and years I've experienced watching markets and been involved and trying to come up with some analysis for the future. And what right now I can tell you this is that everything tracks Bitcoin. You can see how these charts are. Every single one of them, the first all the way down here to number 7, Stellar, are almost identical. Everything tracks Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin goes, so goes all the rest of these cryptocurrencies. So right now, the market is not making that individual distinction between one coin versus another coin. That's a real problem for the entire cryptocurrency market, that there needs to be some individuality to this and not think that everything is about Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes well, everything else goes well. Because a lot of people don't understand how these other different protocols work in comparison to Bitcoin. They don't understand Bitcoin works. So I think there needs to be a little bit more understanding of how other coins work, how other blockchains work, and how things go. I mean, there's this overall big picture going on where you've got how's the U.S. stock market doing? What are interest rates doing? What about legislation? What about all this other stuff? All this stuff is the big picture, the landscape. But for people to really understand crypto, you've got to get a little bit more involved with it. Right now, there's not a lot of interest in it because the prices aren't very good. So there's going to have to be something trigger the overall media has got to be more engaged talking about cryptocurrencies, and people got to get a little more interested. And if it doesn't, we could be sideways on this market for this upcoming year. I can really see this upcoming year being a pretty flat year for cryptos. Not much happening. I don't think cryptos are going to go away, and I don't think they're not coming back to where they were before. But they could trade flat for a long time before this starts to break again. So I'm trying to think of what it's going to be to get this market running again to where it was before. And I don't know. I'm going to continue thinking, continue talking, and continue to come up with some sort of an idea of what possibly could break this market. But as of now, I see everything tracking with Bitcoin, and I see there's a little bit of what would you call hangover from all the ICOs that were done that really needed to get finished that never really got finished. In other words, ideas that never got completed. I think that's hurting the market. You got a lot of these that come up with ideas that never really materialized. I think there's a lot of that going on, a lot of that still affecting the market to the downside. So until all that gets kind of flushed away and new ideas and new things get built, I think it could be a sideways market for a while. And a lot of the stuff has got to be built. Things have got to be built. We've got to have stuff start being used by everybody. Everybody has got to start to. There's got to be some real world applications that get widely usage. That's going to have to happen for cryptos to come back from where they're at right now. So anyway, we'll see. Like I said, I'm trying to think of that trigger that's going to send us back into those better times, or back to times we should be instead of these times. But we'll see what's going to happen. So let me see if there's anything else I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, obviously, got to talk about the weather. You know, once a farmer, always a farmer. We got a big, looks like a big rainstorm coming towards San Diego. Let's take a look at this here real quick. Yeah, here it is. It's big. So once again, I'm inside. Oh, there we are right there. So this is pretty cool. This is, let me see if I can get this thing to move again. This is the big rainstorm, but I think there's a rainstorm that's down here below because I see they're having, where's it at? Here, let me go back to this and take a look at this. Flood warnings. Yeah, they're having flood warnings for San Diego. So let me see if I can get out of all this stuff. And go back here. Go back to San Diego weather. So yeah, look at this, man. Flash flood warnings for Southern California. So yeah, we could have some big weather here pretty quick. Oh yeah, right here, take a look at this thing. We got this massive storm coming to San Diego. So yeah, we could be getting some serious weather here in San Diego. So overall crypto market looks like it's just kind of a little bit down today. So that's about it. Catch me on Instagram. Catch me on YouTube. You can email me. You can call me. Whatever you want. I'm always try to be available. Oh, and also Challenged app. I'll put the link down below. People are asking me about Android. We are working on Android, and of course, we are working on making it so there's a way to do it without private keys. So there's a lot of development coming, but it is able to be downloaded through the App Store. So you can download it through the App Store. If you don't want to use your private key, just create another account, put a few EOS in it, and play around with it. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.